knows what you've been through. All right. Hey, welcome to Tuesday morning, May 19th, 2026. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. And how can I help you this morning? I had some things planned, but I didn't feel that was that didn't come across as the highest and best value. So what can I do to be of service this morning? Any questions, comments, takeaways? So many new texts going on here. I think I still hear music. Hang on. Yep. There we go. What's going through that brilliant brain of yours?
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Silke.
How are you this morning?
Outstanding.
Still outstanding. That is awesome. I wanted to ask you, how was the graduation?
Graduation was wonderful.
How did that feel for you? I know you said I sent a picture walking with the graduates.
Yeah, it was a milestone for sure, right? Because the last time we were in that gymnasium was his orientation, and 4 years went pretty darn quick. So yeah, it was a reminder of how fast things go, how important memories are, and every time you end something, right? It's called commencement. It's not called ending. It's called commencement, beginning. So every time something ends, something else begins. And that was a great reminder. And the thing that was even more comical was there was a few times where I was going to kind of shoulder bump somebody who I thought was Mason because they had long hair and a beard. And it wasn't Mason. So I thought that was funny. Like, oh my God, I thought that was Mason. Michelle thought the same thing because I had parked and I had dropped them off and then parked and walked back. And so we saw similar things. It was quite fun. That was comical. But as far as the event, yeah, it was good. They had to do it in 2 sessions because there were so many graduates and they wanted to make sure all the parents got to see them walking across the stage. So there was a ancillary room and a primary room. And so it was different. And to me, it was not different because I'd not been to one before. So it was very good. Proud that Mason graduated and, he didn't embarrass himself up on stage like some of the kids did. So it was good.
Some of the kids embarrassed themselves?
Well, I mean, they did silly stuff. They did dance moves and they did all this stuff,
Well, that's unique, I guess.
Yeah.
That you will always remember them because that's why they do it, right?
Probably.
All right. Well, that was a new experience for you.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, I don't have any questions. I'm leaving tomorrow tomorrow night. I might be able to get on tomorrow. I'm leaving for Aruba tomorrow night.
Outstanding.
Have you been there?
Mm-hmm. I used to sell to Aruba, to the country, the metropolitan, the power, the water.
What did you sell there?
Mechanical seals, gaskets, packing. I helped keep the sanitary system in play. I sold pumps, gaskets, materials. I was yeah.
That's very interesting. So, what would you recommend? Well, I guess now I have a question.
What would I recommend in Aruba?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Enjoy, create memories. It's been 15 years, so anything that was there, and if it's still established, it's probably worth going to. But most everything that I knew that was there is now not there.
Why do you think that?
It's a change in Aruba. It's entrepreneurism. People who People who worked hard people don't necessarily, they pass things on. Everybody else thinks they can do better. And that's awesome. It's like most places, right? The average business, 90% of them fail in the first 2 years.
Well, you know what's so interesting? That I think that's more to US because I have gone back to Germany many times, or specifically to Wiesbaden, where I lived as a teenager. And what is very funny, the same ice cream place, for instance, that we used to go to when we were teenagers, was still there a couple of years ago and probably still is. So
Sure.
I think businesses in some other countries, well, I can at least speak to Germany, businesses don't turn over as fast as here. You know, one day the restaurant is there, the next couple of weeks you go there, the restaurant is gone. You know what I mean? So I don't know what the phenomenon is here versus in Germany. So
Well, again, it's businesses fail in the first 2 years. That business was already established, so it's already past the critical stage. And so that's why, unless it started when you were a teenager, my guess is it was already there.
yeah.
Again, it's the starting of the business. It's the infancy stage where businesses fail. Not to say there's places that I know that I grew up with that are still in business, that were in business before I was around. So it's the turnover of new business, which is the same with network marketing or any other business, right?
Well, but you know what we've seen with network marketing over the last few years, businesses that been around for quite a while just suddenly were gone.
Because they didn't adapt and adopt to the new policies and procedures. No, they thought they were untouchable. And there's traditional businesses like that as well. Look at Blockbuster. Netflix wanted to get bought by Blockbuster. Said, "Listen, buy us for $50 million." Netflix said to Blockbuster, and Blockbuster said, "That'll never work. Online media never work." They were
Well,
gone
yeah,
short time.
they screwed up big time because they were big. I mean, you had the stores everywhere, but
Right,
they,
but the point is that whether they were big or small, they're gone because they didn't adapt, and that's network marketing. That's any business. If you don't adapt to today's uh, understanding, right? It's why old trainings, truth works, right? Bible still works. Most people are trying to figure out how do I beat an algorithm? Well, good luck in that. You have no control over an algorithm. So the key is,
interesting.
if you're going to go into business, you need to understand humans, and you need to understand what humans are wanting, or what's driving the shiny object that would allow you to get attention. And it's not comp plan. Why? Well, because 80% of people don't make as much money as they want and are disappointed with their income. So when you show them income and they say no to it, that's kind of peculiar. So you got to wonder, well, if they can make money here and leverage money here, why don't they? It's identity. It always comes back to identity. Blockbuster had an identity. We're not an online thing. And that's just we're the giant. We're the 800-pound gorilla in the room that's about to go broke. It's when people's ego gets in the way and it causes them to not see how to fulfill the needs of a human. We wanted convenience, right? That's what everybody wants now, is convenience. So how do you become influential over your income? Most people have never even thought about that. How do you influence your income? Well, you can influence your boss. You can show up, you can be there, you can do all of the right things and still get passed over for a job. How do you influence your income? And how much influence do you have over your income? You ask people that question and they'll be like, what are you talking about? They almost get defensive. My question is that if you wanted to give yourself a raise tomorrow, how hard would that be? Do you think you're worth more? Yeah, I think I'm worth more. How would you give yourself a raise tomorrow?
Charge more.
Sure. Well, but what if you have no control over what if you're an hourly worker?
Ah, yeah, that sucks for you. You
Right.
might be able to get 10 cents more if you're lucky.
But you got to go ask for it. You got to
You
go
have to
for it.
beg for it.
That's not
Yes.
influence. That's not influence. That's begging. I asked right? This is what I would say to somebody if we were having that conversation. Oh, you can go ask for it. Would you get it? How much influence, how much control do you have over your income 30 to 60 days from now? How much could you increase it? I can't. That doesn't sound like that sounds like prison. Dun, dun, dun.
How can you influence yours?
Oh, mine simply by talking more.
Well, that sounds very simple.
Yeah, it is. That's why most people don't learn public speaking. They don't learn communication. They learn a script. That's not communication. They learn an algorithm. That's not communication. When you learn how to communicate, which is a two-way dialogue, you can have influence over your income. Most people are avoiding a negative influence over their income, right? They want to go tell their boss to go pound salt, but they can't because they get fired. That's still influence over your income, not in a positive way. How do you have a positive influence over your income? How do you have a positive influence over reaching your goals? That's why most people don't have goals, because they can't even influence them. They don't understand self-talk. They don't understand brain talk. They don't understand mental toughness. They don't understand consistency. So they just wind up being programmed.
That sounds bad.
Yeah.
So my question would be, why don't we teach that?
We
mean, for in school, that could be a subject.
Well, because we don't pay teachers on productivity. We teach them on performance. We got to get everybody to remember the same stuff and get a standardized grade so that we can pass.
Yep, I myself am not a big fan of standardized tests because people learn so differently.
So
And when
my
you
question
teach
is
only
that
in
is
one way,
if we only teach one way, why do
Yeah.
we teach network marketing one way? Show the plan. That's a standardized test.
I didn't make up that thing.
Same thing.
Why do we do that? But not everybody does. I've heard people just, tell
And the
really
ones
persuasive stories.
right, and the ones who don't seem to have a different story. If show the plan worked, everybody'd be rich.
Yeah.
But we figure if enough people get out there and show the plan, if we get enough worker bees doing the work, somebody will stick and the cream rises to the top. And we wind up the 2%, the 5% become wealthy. So you got to ask yourself, what am I doing today on this day, May 19th, 2026? What am I going to do today to influence my income? What skill or talent do I need to learn to change the outcome 60, 90 days from now? And it's not get better at your comp plan.
No, it's to get better at my stories so it moves people.
Get better at understanding what moves people and then create the story. Could be your story, could be somebody else's story. Jim Rohn would tell a story about everything. He'd tell a story about the little girl, the boy with the two bikes. He'd tell all of these stories. If we get better at telling stories, stories sell, facts tell. And because we feel so limited in our own understanding of success, we want to tell a whole bunch of facts. And facts are pretty common opinions. So how are you going to motivate somebody today? What are you going to do different to ask somebody a question that has them say, how do you do that? Because if you can get them to the how, you can get them to the human. The challenge is we confuse how with strategy instead of how with state. Somebody says, how do you do that? Very well, why do you ask? I want them to say, well, I want that. I'm not here to Google them. I'm not here to give them facts. Well, how do I do that? Well, here's what I do. You do this, you talk to 10 people a day, you spend 3 to 5 hours a week, and you do this, you do that, you show them this website, that's all strategy. They didn't ask that. We give them that. How is human? How is you want somebody to ask you how? And then your response is whatever you want it to be. You can give them facts. Mine is I want to get to their state. Because if I can get them to state, if I get them to realize the upgrade that they have available inside of them, game over. I don't have to sell them. The key is, can they sell themselves? And that's the issue I think most conversations misses. Can they sell themselves? Most people can't sell themselves because we don't give them a chance to buy themselves, to buy their dream, to buy their capability, to buy their skills, to buy their talent. We want to tell them what they don't have. We want to constantly keep them in the gap. People die in the gap. People spend their entire life in the gap. Our job is to see if we can help them out of the gap. That's my opinion. And opinions are like eyebrows. Everybody's got a couple.
Yeah, yes. I almost was going to tell you you're right, and I just stopped myself.
Well, but see, here's the neat thing. Isn't that neat to become aware of that?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy,
That's
isn't it?
huge, isn't it? And you're giggling about it. And the part of you that knows, the part of you that just shut down the version of you that was afraid to adapt and adopt, I'm not going to say learn, because you know a lot of this, to adapt and adopt new ideas, was the one that said, oh, no. We weren't in an argument. This is what we're here for. This is why we wake up at this crazy hour. Because we want to be able to change the way we do things. The challenge is most people change. They refuse to transform. That's why everybody says, oh, I know this. Oh my gosh, I know this. I was just talking to Donna Johnson yesterday, and she's going to grace us with her presence to help MC the ANMP. So right now it's Garrett, me, and Donna Johnson. And we talked for an hour yesterday. We've talked many times before, but that was the first time we spoke as peers as it relates to MCing. And we had an incredible conversation.
Oh, you're going back to do that again?
Yeah.
You're not gonna pass on the whatever you call it to Curtis like last year? Or was it?
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, it was last year.
They're in Korea. We're going to be in Korea, so it'd be hard for him to MC.
Ah, they're going to Korea. What's in Korea?
Everything Korean.
Interesting. All right, that was a very interesting answer to me.
I don't know what's in Korea. I don't know why they're going. I don't ask.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't change my day. What does it matter whether I know what they're doing in Korea or not? I've got a very small window of information that my brain can hold, and general knowledge I don't value general knowledge or knowledge that doesn't change my life or change the ranch.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
It's an interesting thing to look at.
Yeah, there's people on my street that are going someplace today. I don't know where they're going.
But they're not your friends.
They are. I see them more than I see them. Yeah. You're my friend. I didn't ask you where you're going today.
I told you where I'm going tomorrow.
Yeah, but I didn't ask about today. And I didn't ask about tomorrow. You offered it. And I didn't ask you, oh, what are you doing in Aruba?
You're probably the only person who's not going to ask them.
Jim Rohn might say that's a clue. We spend too much time worrying about what other people are doing and not focused on our own stuff.
Well, I think that's often that so we don't have to look at our own stuff.
Bingo. I put that on a t-shirt.
That would go well with your bright red t-shirt you're wearing this morning. We could put some nice white letters on there.
Yep.
Maybe AJ can get you that t-shirt. with the Serbian flag on it.
There you go.
Anyway, well, thank you, thank you, thank you. You have a most amazing day wherever you may be going.
You do. May your travels be safe and be profitable for you and all those you encounter.
Well, I will probably see you tomorrow morning if you're here,
Outstanding.
because I'm not leaving till late tomorrow night. But yeah, all right.
Get
Thank you,
your rest.
thank you,
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways?
Hey, Chief, how's it going?
Outstanding. How
How
are
you
you, sir?
doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Hey, great. Man, the Freddy style over here. Just wondering, Marie, yesterday, if you just were snooping around the intro, or did you actually have a read at
Uh,
it via the document?
yeah.
Wow.
So I looked at it and I had the couple of, didn't I send you the thing about asking, putting the questions in there?
Yeah, but that was just
Yeah.
for the intro.
Okay.
That wasn't, I mean, that was the intro page
Okay.
that we're going to be working on.
No, I'll review more of it today. No, I think it's great. How's it feel?
It feels really good because so Andrew and I, we had this deal pretty much to well, actually for me to really like brain dump everything, every piece of from every single line that I
Right.
think would be beneficial in the document. And initially, we wanted this to be a PDF, so maybe a couple pages. In the end, there was 18 pages. I mean, that's like an ebook. So we were like, okay, you know what? Let's review all of that. He came back to me this morning as well. Obviously, told me about the whole intro. Okay, so the intro page of the document that needs to be more marketing-ish, just to keep them engaged. And I said, okay, listen, this is just the raw material. This is just the raw data, and then we're gonna, go ahead and see what needs to be edited and put out and put in and so on. And it was really good. It was really great to remember all that because, mind you, I learned this stuff probably about 6 years ago now, I think.
Right.
And you know what? It was good. I felt really good because of one thing. After I finished it, I was like, okay, you know what? I sat down and worked on this because Andrew told me, listen, we're gonna take this easy. Let's work on it, whatever. I finished the document in 2 days, the whole thing.
Right.
And I said, like, this is the level of work, like deep work, that I want to be doing.
Sure.
Because yesterday at the lake, I was sitting down, and at one point I realized that 4 hours passed,
Hmm.
and it felt like 2 minutes.
Yep.
So I was like, "Oh my gosh, man, this is great," So felt really good. And then on top of that, last night I had an interview with somebody. They wanted to consider me for business operations or sales. And I was like, okay. So we talked. They told me about operations being capped income wise and so on and so forth. So we were like, okay, well, let's do sales then. And you know what the guy tells me? I have not received this in a long time. The guy so one of my friends who's Serbian as well, he works there right now, and he introduced me to the owner. And then we talked about the sales role, and the guy goes, you know what? Here's a challenge, because you're not from the US. I'm not sure how that would work out. And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, well, clients, when they hear an accent, they get all kind of strange on you. So you got to push through the credibility of your accent by being extra credible. I said, what? I'm not sure I'm following here. What do you mean? And he goes, well, you know what, Alec, my friend, he also needs to push through this credibility barrier because of his accent. But he manages. And after thinking about it, I maybe could have given a less ego-driven response. Because I told, because I told this guy, hey, I mean, listen, I did not go all rainbow on him, but I did say, listen, man, I've been in sales for almost a decade now. I've sold hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of deals. I've gone over the $1 million threshold in a month as well, and I haven't gotten any complaints about the way I talk, and I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem. And he goes, yeah, man, listen, I mean, I understand everything that you're saying. I mean, you're speaking, English. I was like, oh, yeah, sure. So we kind of went back and forth on that. And then he went, well, you know what? Okay, I'm going to talk to my partner, who's the CEO or whatever, and we're going to get back to you. So we hung up the Zoom, go back, and I start journaling because I got this sensation that I'm being, that I'm late to the party. And then all the thoughts about me turning 25 on Saturday, still not earning what I want to be earning, still not, blah, blah. And then this guy calls me out on the accent stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's just, it was very funny last night. And then I thought about what you said to me, which that's been echoing in my mind over the last couple of days. It just started echoing, and I heard you whisper it to me last night. I was such a bad employee. I was so bad at getting a job that I started my own company. And I said, that couldn't be any further from the truth, because look at this, like, what's going on? So just wanted to share that with you. That was, got me a little bit worried, a little bit, laughing last night. And yeah.
So you forgot the nuclear phrase.
Yeah.
And I love that. Anytime any resistance shows up, anytime the old story shows up, you've got to literally turn your head and say, and I love that. Oh my gosh, that's the best you got? Is you're going to come at me with the accent? Seriously? Do you realize how unique I am with an accent? See, if I go over to Serbia and I just stand there, they go, he's different. He looks different. He doesn't look like us. As soon as I open my mouth, they go, yeah, he's different. I want to be different. It's why I do so well in Latin America. I do not look like a Latino, yet I have a Puerto Rican accent, which is a blessing and a curse all in the same phrase, because it's a Puerto Rican. I didn't know I have a Puerto Rican accent, but it's because I learned my Spanish there. So having an accent is awesome. Listen, if our job is to get people's attention, everybody should have an accent, right? We want the exotic. I said, now I have to be absolute. I've got to be 10 times better. Here's the good news. I've already put in the 10x effort, so you don't have to pay for that. I do have to be better. I do have to be, because of my lack of university, I have to be better. I have to drill you with such emotional shift in your body that you don't care what degrees I have. You don't care what university I graduated from. So yeah, if somebody says to me, well, it's your accent, I go, that's a good thing, isn't it? I am exotic. I am the rye bread in a white bread factory.
See, that's funny you say that. It's funny you say that, because I remember back in the day, I was so obsessed with it to start taking classes on paid for courses online to teach me how to sound more like a U.S. person, and I did that. And after listening to some of the recordings I have with you and some of the recordings I have from early on in my sales career, obviously I sound a lot better. My vocabulary is
huge. It's amazing. It's better than mine.
Yeah, it's improved upon a lot over the last couple of years. Obviously, as you know yourself, most of my day revolves around English anyway.
Yeah.
Talking to you before, I would have several hours of talk time on the phone in English. I journal in English. I read in English. I do sometimes even catch myself thinking in English, believe it or not.
Sure.
Because just most of my day revolves around, talking in a different language. And I always saw that as a weakness, pursuing that outcome of sounding like somebody you're not.
If my Spanish became collegiate worthy or college quality, I would lose a tremendous uniqueness that I have. My Spanish is just perfect for people to want to lean in and help. No reason for me to get it any better, because I'm not being paid to speak Spanish. I get paid to build people. And if my Spanish got so good that they couldn't help me with what they're good at, because they can't help me with what I'm about to shift their life with, to give them knowledge that is common knowledge to me, uncommon to them. So how do you give them a chance to help you? Me, it's easy. It's with Spanish. When I go into Latin markets, I'll say, listen, my Spanish isn't that good. You can already tell that. And maybe you can hear I have a Puerto Rican accent. I don't hear the accent. That's the funny thing. Italians don't hear. I don't have an accent. I don't have a Puerto Rican accent. Oh, but I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I was just thinking that. I'm like, when I talk to myself, I'm like, I sound like Sean. I don't.
yeah, there's no accent. This is perfect. So when
That's
I speak
crazy.
my Spanish, it's perfect. It's perfect Spanish. It is so broken, because when I listen to it on recording, it's like, oh my gosh, I sorry for your ears bleeding. The thing that makes
shoot.
is that I'm not afraid. I know it's third grade, second grade language. And what happens is I ask them for help. So immediately, not to mention that the culture of Latin America wants to help. It's that somebody from the US, somebody with a title, whether I was vice president or their upline or this, that, or the other, the level of respect, it's almost, you got to promise to use it for good. I had to make a promise to use it for good, because it could have easily been used for not good. So the reason I say that is I would start off with, I need your help. That instantly changed the way they heard everything. So imagine if you said, hey, listen, good morning. My name's Alec, and I'm working on getting better. So if you hear a little bit of the accent, that's just my mother tongue coming out. So if you're okay with hearing a couple of ums or ahs or maybe a little bit of an accent, I think we'll have a good conversation. And they're going to go, oh my God, your English is good. And so all of a sudden you force them, because they don't want to embarrass you. You almost force them to elevate you in their mind. It's such an unfair advantage when you understand humanity.
Said the spider to the fly.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's so funny, because I remember the first time I was there. You remember we sat in the boathouse.
Mm-hmm.
You, Ruth, Wheezy, Silka, myself, and there was the gentleman that
Charlie.
came, Charlie. And then when we did the round table thing, and everybody talked about their, who they are, he turned to me and he said, you sound like you lived here for a long time. And I said, thank you. And then we talked about it, and then you said, well, that's your uniqueness. You don't need to shy away from that, or you don't need to force yourself to be something. And then when you said, it's actually a very good thing, because you're immediately different. Because if you work so hard to put on an accent and sound like an American person or whatever, then you're competing against 400 million people. But if you sound different, you're competing to that 0.0001% of Serbian people that come to the States and try and make something out of it.
Yep.
And I said, oh my gosh, I never thought about it that way. So yeah, that was real funny. It was real interesting.
So when somebody says to me, when they talk to me about accents, and somebody says, well, yeah, but you've got an accent that's different. I said, so if we were to put all of your salespeople and they got 30 seconds to talk to a customer, How many of them would remember the information, or they would remember the accents different? Oh, that's the guy with the accent. Oh, well, you'd be the one. Then why would you want to shy away from that in a sales situation? You don't want your company to be different. You don't want your company to have this magnetic uniqueness. How internationally expansive are you that you have people who have different languages that, if need be, yes, we could do business in Serbian. How would you like to do business in Serbian tomorrow? Do you think people in Serbian have money? Do you think there's people in the US who are Serbian who would love to be able to have somebody who they speak perfect English, but if you had all of a sudden somebody who actually came from that country, do you think they'd be locked in? I'm your guy. Just change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. I'm all about the story.
Very interesting stuff. And what's interesting to me now when I think about it is you lived in Texas for a long time and you don't sound like them, Breaking Bad characters up there. That's funny. Yeah, that was well. Actually, I'm not sure if I shared the news or not, but Andrew and I made a executive decision as the 2 out of 3 board of directors of the Closers Club to initially start off in our own pond in terms of targeting clients and media buyers and so on.
Love it.
And then we're gonna be now. Obviously, this doc is in English. We're gonna. I mean, it's the easiest thing to translate into Serbian later. Just to get the groundwork done.
Sure. To listen, test small. Test in an area where you can. Test small. Test. And the key is in any document. So here's the thing. AT&T taught me this. The old big telephone conglomerate. I went to a teleseminar and for 3 days learned how to talk on a phone. At the end of every statement, you got to ask, so what? Anytime there's a period, you've got to ask the question, so what? Because that's what the reader's mind is going to ask. The other question that you want running through their mind is, how do you do that? Teach them what to do, when to do, why to do. They pay you for the how to do. That's the challenge with most. That's one of the biggest challenges I have, is I want to teach the how. I want you to walk away with the how. The challenge is that you're looking for how editorially, the you who listens to my content is wanting to get the strategy, and I'm speaking state, and they don't understand this. I don't know why I keep breaking up. They don't understand. See, this is important stuff. They don't understand the state version of how, and they never implement the strategy version of how, because it gets lost. It's why I started asking a lot more questions. Because if I can get you to answer questions that are important to you, or you come up with the answer that's important to you, we can then have a conversation, because it's about you. So those 18 pages, if you had to come down to one sentence of all of the content that's in those pages, what would be the most powerful question, the one sentence that would make those 18 pages valuable?
I'm inclining towards why question, why type of a question. Just plainly asking them, I mean, why would any of this even matter to you? Learning the script, learn document, learn how to sell better, close more, earn more. Why would that even be important for them?
So are you looking to learn better scripts, or are you looking to learn better results? Because you can get scripts anywhere. You can chat GPT scripts out the yin and the yang. It's how do you convert that into sales? How important would sales be reaching your sale? So I just did a study yesterday on LinkedIn. 26% of salespeople hit their quotas. On LinkedIn. HR, the reason that HR is concerned about the future is because of the gap that is widening in skills. If you go take your Claude and say and type into that saying, go query LinkedIn, again, US, go query LinkedIn, but it could be globally. What are the conversations that sales teams are, that VP of sales are concerned about? Or type in specifically your niche. And all of a sudden you'll see a tremendous, an unbelievable result back to the challenge. I'm just seeing if I can find it real quick here inside of my Claude.
I mean, I can imagine right off the bat. I know what my troubles were when I was leading a team.
Yeah, but this is you. You're unique. You're the one that's on the other side of the fence. You're the one that's at the restaurant. It's none of your ideas will ever work because they got
Great,
you
man.
where you are. I mean, it's awesome, but they got you where you are.
Thanks for the pep talk, eh?
I'm just saying, but the thing is that and that's the problem with network marketers. They only speak from their perspective. Well, here's what I learned, right? And I love the comment where it's, I love if and when. The challenge is they never understand when, which is when I came up with clarify, qualify, create expectation. The if is powerful. The when is powerful. The challenge is they can't see past their nose. If this happened, when would that change? If this, then that. If this, then that. The question is that what are they don't even know what they want. It's why you can 9 times out of 10, you could ask somebody a question twice and they'll give you a different answer on the second one. What do you want out of life? Well, I want to be rich. I mean, what do you really want out of life? Well, what I really want, would you lie to me the first time?
Oh, Sean Murphy, there is one thing, mister, that you're gonna be amazed at, I think. It's when you go through the document in your own free time, whenever that is, you will be amazed at the amount of SGM lingo there is in there. Firstly, the formula that you just mentioned, sir, there's the same block of text like that or similar, striking the reader throughout the document multiple times, I must add. So there's a lot of your lingo that I put in there, just because I want to give myself credit for it. Want to give it to myself because I just became aware as I was writing it, so here's what Andrew told me to do. When he was at my place a couple weeks ago, and then throughout this whole process, as I was writing the document, he told me just visualize yourself back then, as we were building the avatar. And I said, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. Just like you're saying right now, you can't help them right now if you think like you, because you are already there. You're already on the other side, and they can't even comprehend that. So I did that as we were building up the avatar. And then I noticed as I was writing the document, all of these whispers of yours came to me from time to time on how to simplify the lesson itself. Right. And then that's why I put a lot of your lingo in the document. You'll see that just because it kind of made sense in the moment, because I was able to bridge what I learned somewhere else with what I'm learning with you. and I pretty much use what I learned with you to explain to other people what I learned years ago and what it actually made me hundreds of thousands of dollars in commission. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is, we're just kind of bridging the gaps in between places. I'm like, Jesus, this is great. So yeah, so thanks for that.
I love it. So check this out. I don't know if you can see it on your phone. Let's see if it does. Share.
It says it's starting, but I'm not seeing anything over here. Oh, okay. I see it
Okay.
now.
So here's something. Here's nomenclature, right? So VPs, this is sales VPs, LinkedIn content themes. They call it forecasting accuracy and pipeline hygiene. VPs are calling out friction forecasting, teams claiming healthy pipelines that can't name 3 winnable deals. High performing orgs maintain a 3x pipeline coverage. Bad forecasting leads to bad hiring decisions and headcount reductions. Quota reality check. Nearly 4 in 5 business-to-business sellers missed quotas in H1, Q1, despite more tools and AI access. Top VP posts argue the gap in sales skills and coaching, not technology.
Yep. Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
And so this left side is all of the HR departments, their top issues. Only 26% of employees feel engaged. Just 22% plan to stay in their role next year. If I was a sales person in the network marketing world, that means I have a 78% market share available to people who are looking, wanting, desiring to shift out of their current position.
You know what Andrew told me?
What did Andrew tell you?
When we were finalizing the deal after we had the three-way, the conference.
All right.
Later that day, him and I met up and we put things in stone. And he said, you know what, the biggest idea I think, or the best course of action for this idea of ours, I think, is that everybody fights for the 3% of the market that's ready to buy right now, which leaves out the 97% of the market that needs a little bit of nurturing before they buy. But it's 97%. And then I told him the story you told me about Dean and Tony, about how they contacted you like 18 times or whatever before you hopped on. And I said, I had that happen to me. I did not enroll for the thing because I wasn't interested in it. But I saw the commercials, probably, paid ads or whatever have you. I saw that probably 10 plus times in, let's say, a period of a week or maybe a week and a half. And then I told him that actually makes a lot of sense because I told him the story you told me, obviously. I said, Sean is a big supporter of that as well, just nurturing before something happens, because then you get a wider, broader audience. And so we said, okay, we're going to do that. It might take more time, but then again, you're going to be unique because everybody is offering the $10,000 program and they're converting 2 clients a month, and they have inconsistent months. The margins are not great because you got to pay the people still working for your team, and you're not closing enough deals because you care about the 3%, and then everybody cares about. So the competition and the 3% is probably 95% of coaches out there. And I said, so we are targeting 97 versus the 5%. I'm like, I'll take that deal any day, So that's and then this, what you just shared, that just makes a lot of sense. Inconsistent pipelines, people getting burned out because they're not meeting their quota. 20-something% of salespeople hitting their quota. Maybe that's even a big number because most people struggle in sales. Like, they don't never hit their quota. And then they burn out. And this what happened to me, almost happened to me. Thankfully, there was my manager there who was an older guy and he knew the stuff. He knew the business well. And he pulled me aside one day. I actually put that in the doc right now as I was editing it this morning. I put that story in the doc. I remember deals would blow up, clients would flip, and I would get so mad and frustrated because I was already calculating how much money I was making off the deal before it was signed. Right? Because salespeople do that, right? So, and then I put the story in the doc because one day I said, I'm quitting. I'm done. I quit. It was another deal that flipped and whatever. And he pulled me aside. He said, listen, let's have a conversation. Pulled me aside. And he goes, listen, kid, you got talent, you got potential, you can do very well in sales. Do not burn out before you get to the money. Because if you burn out and you quit today, you're not going to make all the money you can make.
So shouldn't that be the
Because you burned out.
Shouldn't that be the introductory statement on the front of that document? Are you willing to not burn out?
I put it in there.
But I mean, that'd be the title. Are you willing to not burn out before you get the money?
Oh, you mean like the title?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. That you have to, when you're talking to somebody in sales, the easiest person to sell is a salesperson.
Yeah, that's true.
The hardest
That's
person
true.
to sell is a salesperson who sold. They're not good at sales. If we go back to what Zig says, transference of enthusiasm. Do you still have enough belief? Do you have one last run at arriving at your success? Because if you do, we will take you on that run. Dr. Amy Novotny, who's a friend, and she's I've interviewed her before. She's the one on breathing, right? She teaches people how to breathe correctly, which is amazing. Well, why would you want to listen to her in breathing? Because she runs ultra marathons. Do you know how far an ultra marathon is? 100 miles. Do you know where people hire her? They hire her. They would say, I want you to run the ultra marathon. Do you know when they pay for her services? The last 25 miles. Not for the first 75, the last 25. So if somebody finds your page, if somebody finds any of you, it's a miracle. And when they find you, what is it that you're going to help them with? Because if they're already finding you through marketing and sales pages and whatever it is, social media, they're already looking. They know that their back's up against a wall. So what's the question somebody asked you asked you when your back was up against the wall? Do you want to quit? Or do you want to get started? That's why I tell people, make me your first call, make me your last call. I can't do anything for you while you're in the middle. So until you've hit a benchmark, until you hit the wall, there's nothing I can do because your story is more valuable than what I'm sharing with you. What are you talking about? Your story of lack, your story of limitation, your story of being stuck, your story of all of this. And then you're going to argue with me when you start succeeding. What do you mean I'm going to argue with you when you start succeeding? You are going to get mad at me because you're going to be attacked by your old story. And the easiest person to blame is the one who's helping you transform. Me. Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe what happened. Well, gee, the whole thing fell apart. Yeah, good. How's that working for you? Could it have fallen apart worse? Yes. Then it didn't really fall apart that bad, did it? Yeah, but it's worse than what I wanted it. Okay. Why are you comparing yourself to be so unsuccessful? You stopped it from being horrific. Oh, well, change the way you look at things and the things you look at change.
Hold on, man. You're way over the speed limit there, sir. What did you say? You said, are you willing to burn out before getting to the money or something? What'd you say?
Well, are you willing but are you willing to get to the money before you burn out? Do you have one last run in you? Because if you do, we're your one.
Oh yeah, this is great. Before you burn out. I'm just typing it as you're saying.
Sure.
Are you willing to give them the money before? Yeah, that's great.
Because
Yeah, and then
the
yeah,
18 pages of content you just downloaded don't mean a damn thing unless you're hungry.
yeah,
It's
that
hard.
will be the sub hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So the question you got to ask yourself before you read the next sentence is, how hungry are you? Because if you're not a 9, this stuff won't make sense. And
Oh,
that,
this is gonna rattle their cage, man. Let me
right?
read
And
that.
so this is the 97%.
Yeah, yep. I wasn't thinking about that. Oh, that's some great marketing right there. That is in your face marketing, man. That's some would even say rude.
Well, and so you got to wake them up. And
Yeah.
then the next line is, if you made it this far, let us be the first to congratulate you for never giving up on yourself.
Oh yeah, you gotta do the sandwich, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. If you made it this far, we gotta congratulate you for never giving up on yourself.
Yeah. Thanks for not giving up on yourself.
Never. Thanks for not. No. Thanks
Not
for
giving up.
never
Thanks for
giving
not
up.
giving up or never giving up on yourself.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh,
then the next
this
line
is
would be is, think of your um, sales colleagues. How many of them would have already been pissed off and not made it this far? That's what separates you. That's what makes you special.
or because we had this happen. Think of all the guys who rang the bell and left the office before making any money.
There you go. Bingo.
Because we had that in our office because it was run by people with David Starr. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Uh,
So then that might be the thing. That might be the opening line. Is your hand on the rope to ring the bell?
these guys were the biggest. Not gonna cuss, but you know what I want to say.
Right.
In the universe, and if you quit, they wouldn't give you your last. They would blackmail you, not give you your last commission check and salary check, paycheck, unless you stood up on the stage because we had the stage in the office. You stood up on stage and you say, "I quit," because their philosophy was, if you're a man, you don't quit, and everybody was male in the office, obviously. So they said, if you're a man, you don't quit. You you push through it. Then if you're a wuss or whatever, you get up on stage and you say to everybody that you're a wuss. And we still have people do that. We still have people get up on the stage and say, "I quit," and then everybody would start
So
giving them.
so do you know the statistics in SEALs, right? Navy SEALs, when they ring the bell? What they found is that when you are meant, I mean, the reason you ring the bell is you can't go one more inch. What they found is that the body is only reached through testing and blood testing and physiology testing. The body is, when the majority of guys ring the bell, they have consumed about 46% of their body's energy. They've quit mentally. This is where mental toughness becomes the priority.
Yeah, I heard Goggins talk about that.
Yep. So your job is, listen, you've got a great sales thing. You've got great skills. You've earned some commission. Is it time for you to go get the mother load? Whatever that looks like. And this is conversations for anybody. So if I were to go build a network marketing business today, I would start off by saying, who's in charge of your income? The reason I chose sales is because I wanted me to be the one in charge. If you're not making money, it's because you haven't decided to control your own mind. Let me know when you're ready.
Funny you say that, sir. Because amongst the things I was worrying about last night was journaled about this. Yeah, man, listen, that's why you're my yogi. Uh, Mr. Miyagi. I was journaling about the worry part of things. And I said to myself, man, is this a test? Is this the time where I gotta be patient? Is this the time where I gotta trust the process? Is this the final step before I get the freaking big money? Or what would I was full of energy, let me put it that way, last night. Yeah, and then luckily I remember what Michelle told me, because you're just
I'm just a
apprentice.
gateway. I'm the gateway drug to Michelle.
Yeah, just a sidekick. Okay. But you remember what she told me that one night that we had dinner, and she said no matter if it's good or bad, quote unquote energy, if it's high, you just catch yourself in that state and just start thinking about what you want. And I said, okay, so I caught myself being full of worry if this is it, or what's going on, where is it, where's the damn money, and so on. And I said, okay, stop now. And I started thinking about visualizing how it's going to be a great coaching business and how we're going to have clients and so on and so forth. And then I felt good. After that, and then I slept like a baby. So thank you.
So pay attention to when you ask yourself questions. This is for everybody. Where's the damn money? Answer it. Where is it? Did you answer? You didn't answer it. Where's the money? See, we ask these questions to kind of throw dirt on our own grave. Where's the money? Where's the success? Where's all of this money at? It's right out there. It's one conversation away. Well, is having this right now, this conversation with myself, producing it? No. Then I would offer you change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Because if the law of attraction works, if you ask, where's the money? The universe has to bring you the result of, you don't know where the money is. Because if you don't know where it is, the universe is like, oh my God, it's all around them. It's just as close as your skin. Why don't you know where the money is? Just a thought. I love it.
Thank you. I just arrived over here, the lake, so
Oh,
gonna have some fun there. Thank you.
Love it. Anyone else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with you. I've got a question, but I don't know if I should ask it. I'm not sure. If that's going through your mind, I would just ask a question. Okay. I hope today finds you better than you expected and with better results than you thought possible, to give you an inkling of how possible you are. I'm your head brain training, brain scrambling misfit. I'll see y'all where?
The next event.
Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with us.
Peace be with us all. And the queen of helping you have more of what you want, less of what you don't, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss Lee.
Boss Lee, we love you, girl. And little white fluffy.
Gurgly, gurgly, gurgly.
All right, everybody, go have some fun today. We will see you mañana. Till then.